Good evening and welcome to our Village Towing pregame show on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham. Glad to have you along, brother. It's week 8 already.
It seems like, we just started this at All Saints yesterday, and that's been 8 weeks ago. It's been crazy. It's been a wild run, and we've seen some great games here in Bay County. And, we watched Pink County get a victory. We've watched John Glenn play a real tough game a couple weeks ago. Obviously the All Saints game last week. But tonight we get to sit here in Elmer Ingalls Stadium to watch the Bay City Central Wolves homecoming taking on the Traverse City West, the Trojans. The Trojans. So looking forward to a spirited game here by Coach Frederick's squad, and I'm just excited to be here. It's always great to come into Elmer Ingalls because the crowd it just excites me.
Well, this Traverse City West team we saw a few weeks ago back at Western, that was an 8-7 game. I'm sure that's a game that Western's going to look back at and wish that they could have done a few things better or different to come away with a win. But this Traverse City West team is predicated on hard-nosed running.
They are, and the one thing that I like about all the Traverse City teams is there's a tradition up there very similar to what we have here in Bay City, at Bay City Central and at Bay City Western. And their expectations are playoffs. Their expectations are getting into the playoffs and getting a deep run, whether it's West, whether it's Central, whether it's Traverse City St. Francis. So I expect to see them come down here almost with a little chip on their shoulder. That's 2 trips down to Bay City this year that they had to take. So they're going to come down here and go, when's someone coming back to play us?
Well, on the other end, Coach Frederick, and we've done some specials. You particularly have had a chance to talk to him early in the year, and they're 1-6 on the year, but they've played a lot of great football. A play here and a play there have changed a few of their outcomes.
We talked with Coach Frederick before the season in the first couple of weeks, and they're always that one play away, and they have the athletes, and they have the different sport athletes, not just in football, but in hockey and in basketball and baseball athletes that are accustomed to winning and just trying to get that one play to go in their favor. It's not easy, and as we sit back as 45, 46-year-old coaches, and we're going, well, they just do this, do that, but we're still relying on 16, 17, 18-year-olds to take that message onto the field and then execute it. And, their heart's in the right spot. They're in the right spot. Tonight, if they can make a couple of those plays, I think they're going to have a homecoming to remember.
Well, again, with it being homecoming, Mother Nature has been very, very nice so far. We expected heavy-duty rains. Is misty, and that rain could be a factor somewhere in the ball game, but for week 8, I looked down at the turf here at Elmer Ingalls Stadium, and it's in very nice shape for this time of the year.
It's in great shape. It's incredible shape, and there's going to be nothing that really, I think, is going to hold Central back from playing their best game. They know what's coming next week. So as a coach, that I think is more of a challenge to try to dial them in and remember, hey, before we get to week 9, there's week 8. And we have a chance to go into the week 9 game with a little bit of momentum. So I think those are the things that Coach Frederick really needs a key on, as well as the staff.
We are excited about the possibilities. Week 8, Bay City Central and TC West. Back with all the game action in just a moment on Bay County TV. So your car is getting towed and you're not sure where to take it? Try Village Towing and Auto Repair. Our expert mechanics are here to help assist you with all your repair needs. We have over 30 years of experience with motor vehicles, so you're getting the best work that you can find. Stop by the shop at 2377 South Huron Road in Caucaulin, or give us a call at 989-684-9607. Good evening and welcome to Week 8. This is a Saginaw Valley League matchup. The Bay City Central Wolves won the toss and deferred. There's a high end-over-end kick. It's going to hit down on the ground and be taken by one of the upbacks, number 52 on that return, Connor Swank. He brings it all the way back up over the 40 to the 43-yard line. At that point, it'll be 1st and 10 for Traverse City West.
That might be the happiest I've ever seen an offensive and defensive lineman getting a bunch of pats on the helmets there.
Well, they don't get a whole lot of opportunities to handle the rock. He handled a wet ball clean and was able to make about 12 yards after he caught it. So pretty good start. And Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham, glad to have you along. We know that they have got a stud tailback on this team.
Well, I was going to say we better make sure we know his name. I'm sure the people at home are going to hear it, and there he is right there, Lima Body.
And Lima Body does a nice job, and he is hit by Sawinski and DeRocher and a whole bunch of defenders. as they're swarming to the football and limit him to a 2-yard gain. But we saw him about a month ago at Bay City Western, and he's a big, strong, physical back.
Well, they just had 4 or 5 guys on him and did not even get him to the ground. So, they're going to have to make sure they hit him low and hit him hard and hit him often.
It is going to be tackling by committee to bring him down. The first person's got to slow him down and wait for the cavalry to come. Jet sweep around the corner. Look at him, a body with a great block to free up the corner.
Yeah, we kind of misrate that or underrate that. But when you have a back that is a powerful back, you have somebody out there that can make some things happen. But getting him on the end there to be a blocker and basically give himself up for the rest of the team, for the better of the team.
Well, Schutte with a great run and able to turn around the corner. And again, it is up. The 2 most important people for Central are going to be on the end of the line. You've got to maintain your containment defensively in order for this defense to work.
Lima body up the middle.
Nope. We got the quarterback on a keeper, and he's going to get a huge chunk of real estate, and that's Owen Hendricks as he goes all the way down inside the 20-yard line, down to the 18-yard line. So their first drive, they really put a nice game plan together, and they've got Central guessing here defensively on this first series.
Well, when you have a back like Lima body, it is, a number 1 priority for the defense. But then you also have Parker Kirchner, number 7, who's gone in motion a couple of times. He did take the sweep on the jet and took it down for a nice gain. So, yeah, you're going to have to keep your eyes open and stay disciplined on that defensive side.
Another 1st and 10. Once again, Hendricks in the shotgun. And they come jet sweep this way, and again,
ball's on the ground.
Another great lead block, and it looks like DeRocher was able to come back from that block and sniff the football out. So the ball hits the turf, and it will be Bay City Central football at the 15-yard line.
You can't have a better defensive play than a turnover when it didn't look very good. I'll tell you what, when Parker had that ball, he stepped, planted that foot in pretty wet grass, made a nice cut, just could not hang on to it after the first hit. DeRocher right there on cue, and Bay City Central football.
Well, again, DeRocher was initially blocked, but he was able to get off that block. He flowed to the football, and the football just found its way to him. So that's a beautiful thing. There's Sawinski, the ball carrier. He learned from some good company, and that is watching films of his dad. If you want me to go around you, I can. If you want me to go through you, I'm happy to do that again. A 9-yard gain on the play, 2nd and 1.
Nice positive gain there for the Wolves on first down. I think that was one of the offensive keys for this game is not getting behind the sticks, trying to get some positive yardage, especially on first down. Now you got a couple of manageable plays to get 12 inches.
Well, and I'll take these 2 running backs with any pair in the area as Jamario Harris and Sawinski are both fabulous backs, and great job by the defense that time of shutting that play down, as Imabade was one of the people that was there in a big hurry, along with number 30 on the play, Roman Lesick. So we are going to have loss of about a half a yard on the play, 3rd down and a full 1 now for the Central Wolves.
Well, like we talked about after the first down, you still got options. You're still 12 and maybe 18 inches away now, maybe a foot and a half, or a yard and a half, but look for Harris on this one. Oh. No, Sawinski back with the ball.
Very nice block to get him up to the 30-yard line as he just took the ball off the left side, following Aiden Sirianni and company over there and making something happen. So move for the sticks. It'll be a 1st and 10 for the Bay City Central Wolves as their quarterback, number 13, Joe Gibson Jr.,
the junior
got a nice setup here. Both the running backs are seniors, but the offensive line is senior dominated too. But it's like high school. You just push the button and keep plugging the holes. Trying to head the other way.
Sawinski again on the carry.
Sawinski might have picked up a yard on the play as Bay City Central really trying to move things around. Riley Armstrong over there trying to get that lead block to spring him free. So after a yard gain on the play, 2nd down and 9 Central.
Well, let's see. They've 4 running plays. Maybe time for a little play action. going to put on my football coaching hat.
And you are correct. As they flipped that thing out, they tried to go back to Sawinski again, and very well defended. Who do you think's out there? He's all over the field.
I'm trying to figure out. I'm counting how many guys are out there and how many number 32s I see. He seems to be everywhere where that ball is, whether it's on the offensive or the defensive side of things.
Emma Bodie is just a really special talent. Kid that you really enjoy watching on both sides of the ball. He really brings it.
Well, you're looking at 3rd and 9. You're at the 31-yard line. You're trying to get, obviously a first down is key, but, do you try to get half of it and maybe make a 4th down attempt as they bring it? Harris coming out to the side as he's going to try and get all 10 right now.
Well, he's going to get about 7 of what they needed, and he's going to be out to the 38-yard line, an early decision time for Coach Frederick.
So that was my question going into the snap of the ball was if you get it to a 4th and close, are you going to go for it? Are you going to send a message right now to your team like, hey, we're here to win?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think 4th and 3 was probably the end of his comfort range of going for it on 4th down. So 4th on 2, we'll see what Coach Frederick has got dialed up here. Isaac Coakley also on that offensive staff. So,
well, I think right now it's going to be offensive line. Let's set a tone. Let's do it right away. Looks like it's showing a little blitz action right now.
Yep, they're going to take another peek.
56 Brady Vaughn was showing blitz.
As Sawinski did not even get to the line of scrimmage, as flying through in a hurry was Vaughn and also Burfeld. The two of them just absolutely shut that play down, and the ball goes over on downs. It'll be 1st and 10 for TC West.
I like the tone, though. I think Coach Frederick and his staff, they're going to show that we're not here. We may not have a lot of wins in our win-loss column this year, but we are a very good football team that we put a lot of faith in.
And again, when we watched this team a month ago at Bay City Western, you don't have to ask Clarabelle where the beef is along the offensive line. They have got some big kids on both sides of the football in the trenches, and that will be a challenge as a quarterback keeper. Again, great open field tackle on Hendricks as Central's number 14, Landon Beckers, with a great one-on-one open field tackle.
That's one of your key words there, textbook tackle right there. He got his shoulder down, and again, he got 5 yards on it, but it could have been for a couple more had he not had that textbook tackle.
Shoulder down and through.
That's right.
Bring them right down. And when you're out there on an island, you've got to make sure tackles. If you whiff on that tackle, that could be 6.
Well, that and the rain looks like it's starting to come down a little bit heavier now, so now your jerseys are going to get wet, so you really have to be sure of what you're doing out there. Here's a look for the pitch.
Hendricks on the keeper, and he gets that thing out to Emma Bowdy, and the defender from Central slips as he's being blocked, and that does not help as Emma Body is a big body.
Emma Body, when he's running at you and you fall down, it's not going to help your cause. But credit them. They made the tackle, kept him out of the, as we say, touchdown-saving tackle. So.
Aren't they all, indeed? But, that kid's got to go 210, 250, and they don't have weights on here, but he is just from the waist down. He's a real thick kid, and he's got a big body on the upper side, too. So it's going to be a big challenge for Bay City Central tonight. On Hendricks on the keeper. Central doing a very nice job of stretching that play out. And as a defender, your best defender is the sideline there. And they did not allow Hendricks to be able to turn the corner. They're going to give him a modest gain of a yard on the play. 2nd down and 9 on a very well executed play by the play.
The defense. Yeah, the defense there for Central definitely stepped up, and got him out for just a 1-yard gain. Brings up 2nd down and 9 with just shy of 6 minutes and 23 seconds left here in quarter number 1, 0-0.
This has been a predominantly ground chuck first quarter. Hendricks gives that ball to him a body, and he has just got a huge hole over the left side. And finally coming over with the tackle again, Landon Beckers. But he's down inside the 5 to about the 2-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal from the 2 for TC West.
All right, so my official question number 1, it looks like it's coming off. But if you lose your helmet in a high school game, if it comes off inadvertently, do you have to take off a play?
There is no such thing as inadvertent. It's either on or it's off. If it's off, you sit for a play.
Okay.
So, yep, there is no
Well, if he would have taken it off, it would have been a penalty himself, correct? On the field of play.
So, if it's pulled off by a face mask, then that could be subject to interpretation. Imabadi gets to the goal line. He's into the end zone. It's a Traverse City West touchdown. As TC West going up and just having a nice drive, albeit that it was only 38 yards as Central stalled out on downs, but now they're
a little fancy,
setting up for a little swinging gate. And we'll see what they've got now. They've got numbers to actually run this right up the middle. As Hendricks is going to try and run it up the middle, and he gets hit at the 3-yard line.
Ball's loose.
And the ball is loose, and it is
recovered by
It's going to be recovered by TC West, and they're going to say the 2-point conversion is good. Time out of the field with 6:03 left in the first. Traverse City West 8, and Bay City Central nothing. Back in a moment on BCTV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back here on BCTV as Traverse City West set to kick off. Bay City Central will be receiving, and it is a high short kick.
That was not taken by anybody.
That was in and out of the hands of the Central return man. I'm waiting for the young man to turn around. Is that 18 Caden Langley? As he got a late start, and it looked like his first step towards the football, he kind of spun his tires a little bit and just ended up a half a stride short of getting to where he needed to be. Looked like he had some room to return that ball if he would have picked it up cleanly, but Central does retain possession back at their own 18-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Wolves.
Well, they avoid another turnover right there, as this time they're going to bring the ball out to Harris, trying to get to the outside.
And there is a holding, and thought maybe there could have been a face mask at the end of that play too, but whenever you cave your defender right at the point of attack and there's nobody between you and the line, Judge, it is not a thing that you can hide.
There was he's going to decline that, I think. It was no, there you go. That guy's just used to going back 10 yards. That's a no gain on the play as Harris was stopped in the backfield and maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. So they're going to decline the holding penalty on Central. We'll bring up, about 2nd and 13.
And that headlinesman absolutely did a great job, because his job is to spot the ball until the penalty is enforced or declined. So he stood his ground, and that was the point of emphasis, and it'll be 2nd down and 13 for Central, who are looking for a big play to get out of their own end of the field. And
a little flippy-do right there.
That is a really nice play, and up over the 25 to the 26-yard line.
23.
Looks like Joe Anderson. So very nice job of picking up about 6 yards on the play, at least making it a 3rd and manageable here at 3rd and 7.
3rd and manageable. You start doing a reverses. You got to start worrying about the ball, and that's a gutsy call. So maybe the defense not looking for a little trickery right there.
But if you're flipping that ball forward and it's fumbled, it's an incomplete pass. It is not a fumble.
Well, you got to make
sure.
So
therefore, it's a safe play to run, because you're not going to have the fumble off of the forward pitch.
A fumble-rooski out there. We may see everything tonight. I don't think the Central's not going to put everything out there. Little screen pass back. Just a little bit higher than DeRocher. Lima Body tried to make a diving interception just out of his fingertips.
And Dalton's a little frustrated because he had 2 blockers out in front of him and an opportunity to get that 1st down and more. So a nice call on the play, but unfortunately the ball just a little bit hot coming out of Gibson's hand.
Yeah, that's pretty tough order to get the ball over Dalton's head. He's sitting at about 6'4", about 215, 220?
I would say he's a little closer to the 200 mark, but very solid kid. And we got a penalty flag down, and that kick gets off, takes a very nice Bay City Central roll, is going to go down to the 48-yard line. We'll have to wait and see what the flag's all about.
I got a couple flags out there, one on each end, so I'm guessing maybe. What do you think?
Illegal formation, 5 men on the backfield
for both those linemen line judges to.
Yep. And normally, when you see that as a head linesman or a line judge, your cue to your opposite official is you put your hand on the bulb of your flag so that your official on the other side understands. So, yep, it's an illegal formation, and I believe they may let Central re-kick it. Nope, they're going to bring it back down here, and
I kind of was wondering, they're going to run off 5 yards off at the end of the run there. So, excuse me, at the end of where the play ball was dead. But I tell you right now, the Traverse City West guys were all over a couple of their players who didn't hear fire, and were getting awfully close to maybe a touch on that ball, which would have landed a live ball.
Then they would have
declined it or accepted it. You're right.
From the previous spot.
We'll repunt that one.
Yeah. Take it a mulligan. Trying to get to the outside. Has a very nice open field tackle again as the ball carrier on the play is number 12, Charlie Sowers.
Sowers getting a little touch right there as Alima Body getting a well-rested and well-deserved break. But it's nice when you have when you can roll your running backs in there and not have to rely on the big power back we've talked about. They got a couple new guys out there. I see 11's out there, which is Walker Tupper the second. So you're going to try and get some other guys involved, maybe keep your guys fresh. And again, it's rain's coming down. It's getting a little windy. It's getting a little cold out there.
Well, and you look at Sowers, his lower unit is very, very thick. I remember him running at Western late. Sawinski just comes and stuffs that play at the line of scrimmage for absolutely no gain on the play. Schultz in on that hit and a lot of other people there. Van Dusen, they really flowed to the football very well. They're going to give it a modest gain of a yard on the play. 3rd down and 2 for TC West.
That's a big time right here for the defense for the Central Wolves to step up. Try to keep them away from that first down. Make Traverse City West make a decision if they're going to go for it on 4th down.
The Biggie came back in the game, though, so it's fairly obvious to me who's going to handle the rock here.
At least who's going to, oh, no.
Lead blocker.
Blocking. Trying to get him out, trying to stretch him out. Tried to stretch him out to the line. It looks like he's going to have the line to gain.
Boy, he is right at the first down marker. As they stretch that out, I'm not quite so certain.
Well, he's got that official has a great look at it because it's right next to the marker.
I think he's about 3 chain lengths short. Yep.
Yeah. Well, now
it's going to be 4th down and a short. Again, Bodie, they used him as a lead blocker instead of the battering ram going right up the middle. Now back in the I backfield formation. The quarterback keep, and the ball goes backwards. Central gets that ball back on downs as the defense comes up big for a second time here, causing a turnover in the first quarter.
Yeah, but the thing is that was the first time that quarterback went under center. It was going to be a quick snap and trying to push him forward there. And, again, you don't practice that a lot if you're always used to getting direct snaps in the backfield. And, a little bit of change right there. Again, with the weather and everything else, you got to be very, very clear on everything from that snap to the quarterback, and then obviously the quarterback knowing what he wants to do. Sometimes you get a little too quick.
Well, and sometimes you can outthink yourself, too, and instead of just going with what you know works for you. As ball carrier is Jamario Harris, and there is absolutely nowhere for him to go as Van Dusen's going to bring a play in from the sidelines. And, again, we remember this offensive defensive line from TC West from back a month ago when they were at Western. They are big, physical trench players, and Central is going to have to really work hard. And it's hard to move people around when that first step you're taking, your feet are spinning from the wet turf.
Try and run a little sweep out
there. Trying to get Van Dusen to the outside, and he is unable to get around the corner as he may have lost a yard on that play again, as TC West just flowed very, very well to the football once again.
They were disciplined in maintaining their gap and integrity, as we talk about that quite a bit here. But the play wasn't bad, but it looked just a little slip on that turf right now, and all of a sudden you're fumbling, and I say your feet are fumbling, not the ball's fumbling, but your feet are fumbling, and you can't regain your footing, and at that point you're just trying to protect the ball.
And a very, very light yet steady rain continues to fall here over the stadium, and that's greatly affected this homecoming crowd as well. Van Dusen in motion. Looks like the ball carrier was Sawinski off of right guard. He was able to pick up about 3 yards on the play. It's going to bring up a 4th down and 9-yard to go situation, and Central wants to flip the field, and we'll be in punt formation. Looks like Jamario Harris will handle the punting duties.
It's a dangerous punter back there. If he gets rolling on the outside and you drop back into coverage and he has a gap or a lane, once he gets his feet going, he's pretty fast on the corner there.
Well, and that's what he ends up having to do as he comes forward, and he is just tripped up by number 4 on the play, Andrew Budd. Gets a shoelace and a shoestring, and Jamario just couldn't get past it. He gets by that, and he's going to be up to midfield or farther.
Right.
But, again, a great open field tackle thwarted that. In the snap, the ball was wet, and he didn't get it clean, and so therefore he was forced to try and just take off, and he saw a hole, and he went for it, and great defensive play stopped that first down.
Score 8-0 in favor of the Titans of Traverse City West as they take possession here at the minute 37 left here in the first quarter. Interesting to see how they're going to bounce back after the being stopped on downs on the last possession for the Titans.
Look at the jet sweep again, and Emma Bodie just continues to push and push and push. He continues with his block 7, 8, 9 yards down the field. And there's a gain of about 4 yards on the play, 2nd down and 6. We talk about, he's a great rusher, he's a great linebacker, but as a lead blocker, I think he does some nice things too.
He does, and he doesn't stop. He plays through the whistle. He's not just trying to touch one guy and expect you to do your job after that. He keeps going until he hears that whistle, and that time, he got a good challenge down there. Dalton DeRocher was lined up with him coming out of the backfield, but I like what he does. I like his all-around game. He does a really nice job.
Yep, and I don't know who or what might be recruiting him. And as he tries to turn around the corner, absolutely slamming the door down was Dalton DeRocher. He was not going to be blocked this time. And we found out the only potential weakness of Imabode is going lateral.
Yeah, he wants to go north and south. He's You can look at his uniform already and tell he's a north-south runner.
But DeRocher really made a great defensive play. Now 3rd down and 8. Yeah, you have to go to a different page in your playbook to find something that you hope is going to be successful on a 3rd and 8 versus a 3rd and 2 or 3.
Well, looks like they are going to take this down. I don't know if it's going to be last play.
They don't have to run that play because the back judge doesn't have his 10-second hand up, so they're going to run it. Emma Bodie tries to bang up the middle, and he makes a couple of people miss with a spin at the 20, the 15, the 10. Fight for 3, 2, 1. He's into the end zone, and he's going to get a taunting penalty at the end after he gets into the end zone for turning around and going in backwards, and that's going to be 15 yards. And just something you don't need. And unfortunately, he made a great play and just finish it off like our boy Barry Sanders has done. Act like you've been there before.
Exactly. Get in the end zone, toss it to the official, and then go back and celebrate your lineman. But to tell you what, he did a great job. He got into the pile. I thought maybe to bring him down, maybe have a 4th and 3, 4th and 4. He just kind of spins himself out again. Wet jersey, not getting low. Spins himself out.
Let's see what they're going to do if they're going to take this on the kick.
So we'll have the conversion attempt here, and then we will take our little break, and then we'll come back, and then we'll talk about how this is going to...
What my point is on this play is that is not a personal foul. That is an unsportsmanlike. If you get a second unsportsmanlike, you're out for this week and most probably, and I don't know their schedule, but I bet they play TC Central next week.
That
would be something that they would not want to deal with that game without him. The extra point is up. It's plenty long, and it's good. Time out of the field at the end of the first quarter. It is 15-0. Traverse City West on top over Bay City Central. Back for the second quarter in just a moment on BCTV.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Back here on BCTV, Jeff Dodd and Jason Newsham, glad to have you along on this wet homecoming night at Bay City Central, along with producer, director, and filming tonight, Nick Page. It's our trifecta of fun here. Bay City Central on this drive really needs to get some first downs and hold on to that ball and keep their defense off the field for a few minutes.
Yeah, we hate making it every offensive possession the key village towing key possession of the game, but this one is about as key as they're going to get as he's still staying on his feet. Give him credit. He's going to keep them legs moving, the pile moving, and now they're going to end up with a great field position here to start the second quarter.
At the 45.
Thanks to the going back to it. So from our understanding, the taunting is an unsportsmanlike, so it's like a technical in basketball, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you get a second one, and you're out of this game. And then subsequently would be missing the following week or the following game.
Against TC Central.
So
Mason Panko on that return for Central. Officially, they'll put that down at the 46-yard line. Let's see if they can stretch things out here, or if they're going to try and pop off a good run. Wilson back and thought he saw a seam up the middle, and big number 78 got his mitts on him. That's Thomas. And he shuts that play down in a hurry. So there'll be a loss of a couple of yards on that play as Gibson Jr. just could not get by that initial rush of the defense.
I do like the last couple play calls for the Wolves. They haven't connected necessarily, but they're definitely making the right calls, right decisions. That one right there, trying to roll them out, make something happen. But I think you're going to have to get something quick, maybe get Jamario something quick on the corner, maybe a quick screen pass to him. They had a nice screen opportunity to DeRocher last time.
I like the attempt at a misdirection as Harris gets shut down on that play by Lessick again. And there is just really nothing going right now for the Bay City Central Wolves as the defense again. And this is much like we saw. We don't like to keep bringing back the point, but they did the same thing to Western. Very, very physical up front, and their linebackers flow very well to the football.
Talking with Chris Willerts, the head coach at Bay City Western after that game, I think he was surprised from film to field just how fast that D-line is and how fast those guys flow to it. Not just them, but the whole secondary.
Well, and your weekly specialist, Harris, makes a couple of people miss, spins away, and he's going to get out to about the 43-yard line. And nope, there's nothing there.
Well, when you got 1,000 refs on the sideline, you got 1,000 refs in the crowd, everything when your team
and 7 on the field.
every team needs a little help. So fourth down, 4th and 8 from the 44. Kind of go time here for the Wolves. This is, again, talking about big possession. They're all big possessions at this point, both offense and defense.
And on 4th down, I love the misdirection naked screen. You leak one of your backs out of the backfield, you flow to the wide side of the field and come back. A lot of times you're going to catch that defense leaking to the wide side of the field. We'll see what Coach Frederick has got. And a quick slant pattern and a very nice catch for the first down and more. Cam Reed.
Big catch right there. Big time throw, too.
I say, there you go. You took the words right out of my mouth. Great throw and great catch. The timing was perfect on the play. The call was great, well executed. It's enough to move the chains in the 1st and 10 Bay City Central. That's what they need some more of. And again, the way they've got Cam Reed out there, you've got room. If you get to the inside on that defender, there's no safety back. They're all predicated on stopping the run. There's Harris banging forward again. He's going to pick up 3 or 4 yards the hard way down to the 30-yard line. And big number 56, he's been in on a lot of plays lately. and that's Brady Vaughn. So we're going to give Harris a gain of almost 4 yards on the play, 2nd down and 6 for Central. You'll take 4 on first down.
I will take 4 on first down. I like 9. I'll take 4. Number 72, Kyler. Looks like Kyler Brennan, number 72, big 72. He was also in on that tackle.
Gives him back to pass again. He's got DeRocher on the other side of the field, very close to that first down marker. They're going to give him the first down and more. Just continued through his pattern, and Gibson Jr. did a great job of leading him and putting it right in the breadbasket. Dalton DeRocher, great pair of hands, moved the sticks again. Central's got something going here, Jason.
Yeah, I tell you what, I said that just at the beginning of this drive. I like their play call. Their play call has been very solid, and again, now you're mixing it up a little bit, giving them a chance to get your other athletes out in space. I tell you what, go starts back that pass to Reed. That might be just exactly what they needed to jumpstart them.
Trying to get Sawinski up the middle again, and he's going to move the pile and pick up a couple of yards down to the 21-yard line. That is the kind of play, Jason, that I believe you have to run as an offense, even if you only get a couple of yards, because if you don't keep those defensive linemen honest, then they're going to be able to float to the corners and make plays. You got to keep them home with their first read.
Yeah, you got to make sure you're not letting that defense pin their ears back and becoming one-dimensional, whether it's up the middle to the side, giving it to Harris. But right there going Sawinski up the middle now allows maybe Harris on the outside, maybe, again, play action. Things open up, but if you don't or go away from it, you start kind of limiting yourself.
Looking like a little misdirection and absolutely nothing there, and got a face mask. And that's going to be a big break for Bay City Central as big number 50 out there, Burfeld, reaches out, and I think he got a face full of mask. Let's see if they got a 5 or 15. I believe they're going to go 15. Yep. Personal foul, face mask. Looks like Burfeld might have been the culprit of such. So now, okay, we go from the 24-yard line. Now we got to get the abacus out because we get out to the 20. Then after that, we go half the distance.
Tell you what, it's getting the Wolves a little closer to the end zone, sniffing that pay dirt right now. It's exactly, I think they got to punch one in here before halftime. They deferred, they won the toss, deferred to the second half. So getting a score here is going to be critical in the success that they can mount, because then again, your defense is playing well. You're getting some stops. I know the last time he spun out and went for the end zone, but they've been playing pretty well. There you go with your Sawinski.
Sawinski again, just about a burp short of hitting that hole before it started to close up, and he had a lot of green grass in front of him. He's going to pick up a couple of yards on the play, but again, credit the closing speed of that defense to make that a 2-yard gain and not a 7 or 8.
Well, from our vantage point, we saw the hole open up. We, back in my day, I was already there. I was already through there.
In my mind, I was too, but unfortunately, my body said, not so fast, Mr. Doan.
Stay up here in the booth. Stay up in the booth.
2nd down and 8 yards to go. Split backs of the backfield once again. Nice little pass to the outside, and Harris was wide open, and that's one that Joe Gibson Jr. wants back, because all he's got to do is float that out there, and he tried to put a little too much zip on it, and it was thrown just a little bit behind Harris, and he couldn't spin around and get enough footing to get back to the football.
Again, great play call.
Yes.
Let's go back to it. I think in this situation, not knowing their kicker situation, but I think you're in a situation right now, you got to try and put points on the board here, and if that's 3, that's fine, but let's try and get at least 6 up there if we can get something here in the end zone.
Well, Ziggy Wilson has been their kicker, but he's been injured for a couple of weeks. As that ball tipped at the line of scrimmage, and they're going to say maybe it just fell out of his hands and wasn't tipped at the line of scrimmage. As a very nice job by Jamario Harris to get back and brought 8 out of bounds.
I'm not seeing a lot of arguing either from the coaching staff, so I thought maybe had gotten knocked down, but maybe slipped out a little.
Might have just slipped out. They were going to Cam Reed on a little corner route, and he had man coverage out there. So, again, as you say, you can't fault the play call. It's just that's a weather-related mishap and unable to get that ball out. It'll be 1st and 10 for TC West.
Well, going to put the pressure back onto the Wolves defense here and trying to get another stop and try to keep this game at where it's at, 15-0. First pass attempt for the Titans. It goes to number 7 coming out of the backfield, and that is our guy Parker Kirchner, who has ran a couple of times so far, but that time he's a recipient of the pass in the flat.
And Landon Thorne, number 7, chasing number 7. Finally coming up with the tackle on the play, but another chunk play down to the 38-yard line of the Central Wolves. It'll be 1st and 10, Traverse City West.
Well, you bring back Charlie Sowery in there. Number 12 is in the backfield. And, again, you look at our man, number 32, Alamabadi, and you look at 12's jersey, and you're going, well, one hasn't been tackled as much yet.
One has not been utilized offensively quite as much as the other. Fake the jet sweep. Hendricks on the keeper, and he breaks another tackle again. He's down inside the 5-yard line to about the 2 before he's finally brought down on the play defensively by the Bay City Central Wolves. And Kenton Van Dusen looks like he has got a little dinged up on that play. So let's see if he can walk it off. Is Van Dusen going to be coming off? And you better get off the field in a hurry.
Now it looks like number 7, Landon Thorne, coming off that time.
As it's 1st and goal from the 3. And absolutely nowhere to go as the stingy Central defense comes up with a huge stop on the play. And that is led by Jeff Schultz. JJ does a nice job as he slams the door shut, and a loss on the play of a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 5.
I think Mr. Vincent down there had his first chance to say brought down by a pack of Wolves.
Oh, he is legendary here. He does a fabulous job. And again, while we've got the opportunity, I'd like to thank Dr. Ken Weaver, the athletic director here, for hooking us up and trying to get to the outside. Again, breaking a tackle on the play is number 12, Charlie Sowers. He's into the end zone. It's a Traverse City West touchdown. Boy, Traverse City West has just walked off this bus and ready to rock and roll on the football field.
Yeah, and again, we're talking about just ill-timed turnover there by the Wolves as they were driving, trying to put points on the board. Again, just under 5 minutes left here with 4:57 left in the first half. 21-0 as the scoreboard stands at this moment. A little.
And you look at that play, Jason, and again, they had the folks out there to stop it, just could not make the tackle out in space. And they're going to call it incomplete. We've got time out of the field with 4:57 left in the first. 21-0. Traverse City West over the Bay City Central Wolves. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Back on Bay County TV as we are ready for the kickoff. Rice to kick off for Traverse City, and he booms this one deep. Kenton Van Dusen back at his own 7-yard line, gets his balance, looking for a crease, cuts to the outside, and at the 23-yard line, he's down. As good coverage that time by Traverse City once again will have Central deep in their own end.
Well, they're putting their backs against the wall right now with 4:50 left, and again, every possession being so important for the Wolves offense right now to get something rolling. Again, play call has been good. Execution can get a little bit better. but overall play call is good. Now they just got to break one. If they have a chance to break one and get that confidence again, getting the ball in the second half, I think it's really critical for them to put some degree of points on the board on this drive.
Well, if you can get Cam Reed on a quick slant, there is no safety help back there. So Jamario Harris bangs forward and able to move the pile to get 4 yards out to almost the 27-yard line as the big dogs from Bay City Central are pushing out in front, trying to make things happen.
A lot of guys for the Traverse City West defense. So, again, just talk about it. We're probably beating the dead horse, but, man, did they get off that snap real quick. And they really affect your gaps that you're trying to get into, and that offensive line has to be quicker.
They just clog the areas that you're trying to run through. They don't get great penetration, but they just are gap responsible at the line of scrimmage. There's not a whole lot going for Bay City Central on that second down run again as Sawinski. Cade had maybe a modest yard of a gain on the play. It's going to be third down and 6 yards to go, just under 4 minutes left in our first half as they're all lining up for homecoming out there, but the umbrellas are out. And Dad's the one got the umbrellas between Mama's outfit and the daughter's outfit. He's like, I don't want this stuff wrecked. I spent too much money on it. Back to pass. Great catch by Sawinski, but nothing after the catch as he was shut down by number 18, Pops.
I'll tell you what, it was a great play, but I tell you, the defense was right on top of it, and you can't really ask for anything more than that. If he doesn't make that tackle right there, though, Sawinski's still running.
Well, Sawinski made a really nice catch on that ball. So it's, again, you can't fault the play calling. It's just not.
Well, sometimes the defense just beats it.
Yep.
Sometimes it's just better defense. There's nothing wrong with it.
And their defense has been equal to the task. Harrison to get rid of this, and Jamario with a really nice kick. And that takes a nice floating hop for Traverse City. And they're going to be out of bounds at the 45-yard line as looked like Cam Reed with that tackle for Bay City Central.
I mean, even the bounce right there on a wet field was custom made for the Traverse City West Titan on the return. So, a lot of ball bouncing their way right now. Central's just going to need to work and continue to work, and you got to wait for that break, and you got to be ready to take advantage of that break when it's there.
So this is very important for Bay City Central with 2:40 left in the half to keep Traverse City out of the end zone, go in at halftime, and be able to make a couple of adjustments and come out and see if they can continue to move the ball, but end up finding pay dirt at the end of some of those drives. First and 10, Traverse City West, 54 yards away from pay dirt again. And here comes the blitz from Bay City Central, and slamming the door was Cade Sawinski as he came virtually untouched off the corner. Somebody might have got a little rub on him, but once that choo-choo train was rolling, there was no stopping the Cade.
I'm wondering what Alima Body's talking to his quarterback right now, because he didn't whiff on it necessarily, but I think it was expecting a quick out or a quick pass. And then when he kind of bumped him off and then was expecting to run downfield and block somebody, he realized his quarterback was on his keister.
And I don't know if Amelia Body might have just gotten a chunk of them and tried to get a bigger piece of them, or if, like you said, he was anticipating it was going to be something quick. Not much going on there again, as Central's defense does a great job of slamming that play down. I believe Caden Langley, amongst others, in on that tackle. And Schultz.
Well, here we go. Third down, 14 from the 42. I think if they get a stop, I think you use a timeout.
Yep, absolutely. And
that's trying to play one play in advance, one play in my head. But if we get something,
counter action and snipped out by Bay City Central, is holding on for dear life is Bernellis. And so there was a fair gain on the play, but it's going to bring up a fourth down and 7 yard to go situation. And Bay City Central with a buck five is going to do exactly. Traverse City takes a timeout. So in all probability, Central's going to have an opportunity to get this ball back with all 3 of their timeouts left. And 3 timeouts in high school football with the clock stopping on first downs at $1.05 is sufficient time to make something happen.
Yeah, and we both know that if they get a chance right here, I would go in on an all block. I would send everybody. You know, if he gets a great punt off, that's one thing, but try to make sure you have your guys are ready to shoot those gaps and maybe try and get a deflection. At least try to get the ball back with some reasonable yardage to gain and try and put some points on the board. All sounds so much easier said than done.
I think that's a very simple formula. Unfortunately, on a night like tonight, sometimes can be tough to execute that with the weather conditions being the X factor.
It is, and again, not making them and forcing them into a punt, you're looking at the snap. The snap's got to be good. The grab's got to be good. Putting the ball down on your foot's got to be good. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong on a night like tonight. So definitely playing their odds, and we don't even know if the Titans are going to come out in punt formation.
Well, to me, at this juncture of the ball game, if you're going for it on 4th down and almost 7 yards to go, you better have a high percentage play that you're certain is going to work, because you don't want to give up this kind of real estate to Central. Pass to the outside right at the first down marker, and it is going to be a first down to Kirchner, as they're going to be able to move the sticks down to the 40-yard line at that point. It'll be 1st and 10 TC West.
Alima Body's, we said his name a lot, but I tell you what, Kirchner's playing a great game. He's getting a couple of those catches out in the flat, making the right snags, and more importantly, he's been out there on the defensive side of things. He's catching balls, he's running, as he's trying to throw this one over the head of the intended receiver.
Well, great job defensively, using the sideline as the extra defender again, and just kind of allowing that receiver nowhere to go. He ran out of real estate. Now, had he been playing in Canada, might have had a chance for that ball.
If he was playing in Canada, I'm pretty sure Elmer Ingalls Stadium wouldn't be so tight on the sidelines either. So
yeah, they wouldn't have room to do it in Canada. 2nd down and 10 for TC West.
44 seconds left here in our first half. 21-0 in favor of the Titans.
Again, here comes the blitz. Hendricks is going to send this down, and they're going to say this is caught and completed. And I don't know, now they're going to call timeout. I'd say you're almost as good to not catch that ball and stop the clock, but they do a nice job of utilizing the timeout with 34 ticks left in the half. We'll take a quick break and be back in a moment on BCTV.
Are you ready to gear up and stand out? Look no further than Sandlot, your local destination for custom screen printing, embroidery, and promotional goods in the Great Lakes Bay region. With not 1, not 2, but 3 convenient locations right here in the heart of the Great Lakes Bay region, we're your MVP when it comes to branded gear that hits the mark. For over 15 years, we've believed in community, in delivering top-tier quality, and in making your brand shine brighter than ever. And guess what? We're not just about sports. From schools to clubs, from businesses to community events, we're your one-stop shop for custom apparel that makes a statement. So if you're ready to elevate your brand, to make an impact, and to fuel your passion, choose Sandlot. Visit us today at one of our 3 unbeatable locations in the Great Lakes Bay region, or check us out online at sandlotsports301.com. Sandlot, where quality, community, and apparel collide. Your brand, our passion.
Back here at BCTV. It'll be 3rd down and a long 2 situation. 34 ticks left on our clock. Motion here to the near side. Central coming with some late pressure. A little drag route down the field, and an ill-advised throw that time as Hendricks wants that back. He had his motion man absolutely wide open behind the defense, and he did not lead him. He threw it over his back shoulder and caused an incompletion. That's a break for Central.
A very big break right there. Great play call. Kirchner, again, we keep calling his name, and you throw that anywhere near the B down there in the end zone, he's still running. He's on Columbus Avenue. He's down at Grandpa Tony's getting a steak sandwich.
He's down getting us a little snack food down there. So it is 4th down. And they go empty in the backfield. And Hendricks gets forward for the first down and more inside the 20 to the 16-yard line. And it doesn't do any good to lay on them right now because the clock stopped until the chains move. And
no reason to risk a penalty either. So.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, the chains aren't ready, but they're wheeling the.
Well, once the down marker's set, that's all they need.
That's a fumble. Well, you got it back.
And that is going to be a missed snap. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty. Now, I'm curious on this because I don't think it was a missed snap because the center's the only one that moved the ball. Nobody else moved.
Right.
So it didn't pull the defense off. I just think it slipped out of his hands. The quarterback picked it up, dropped it to the ground. So I got to see if they're going to pick this up or not. Are they going to call this a snap infraction? So they're going to say intentional grounding because he doesn't pick it up clean first, according to the explanation. And that comes with a loss of down.
Well, puts him back 5 yards and makes us now a second down and 10, or excuse me, second down and 15 from the 22-ish. But with 16 seconds left. One timeout.
You know, they're going to go at least with one shot at or near the end zone. Hendricks is lofting this ball down deep into the corner of the end zone. What an unbelievable grab for the Traverse City West touchdown. Guess who our boy is?
I'm going Kirchner. I'm going Kirchner.
Holy cow, you could not have defended that play any better than Bay City Central had that play defended. And that was a perfect throw.
Right, the throw, but we're talking about even when you do the right things in offense, if the defense is just a little bit better in that situation, the defense was great, the offense was just a little bit better, and ends up being a Kirchner touchdown. Now we're bringing our kicker on the field, number 21 for the Titans. That's Rice, Dougie Rice, and he's got himself a leg too.
Well, this one's going to go up into the school. Stays off the roof of the school,
nice
but comes back onto the field. The extra point is up and good. Timeout in the field with 10 ticks left in the first half. 28-0. Traverse City on top over the Central Wolves. We'll be back in a moment on BCTV.
It's another fall Friday night, and your kids should be
playing high school football.
It's a fun game, and it's safer than ever.
It's safe because the rules, the coaching, and the equipment are better than ever before.
As a result, serious injuries are at an all-time low. Seriously.
And builds
strong schools, lifetime memories, and tomorrow's community leaders.
And it's mother approved.
It's a great game, and we want to teach it to your kids.
With 10 ticks left of the first half, back on BCTV, as Traverse City West just did a tremendous drive there. In the last minute and 5 seconds of this first half, they scored in 55 seconds. Rice now set to kick. As that is a high, short kick taken by Bay City Central, and Friendly Fire took them down at the 30-yard line.
Well, that's all right. Holding on to the ball, make sure you caught the ball, hold on to the ball, get it down on your knee.
And with 10 seconds left, Bay City Central, with their timeouts left, are going to have an opportunity to maybe get a couple of plays here. Let's see if they can at least get 20 yards or so out of that first one and allow them the old heave-ho. See if they can get something towards the end zone.
Well, I think they need to get into the locker room right now and just, make some adjustments. Make sure they water up. Don't come out with any cramps in the second half. And don't put the ball on the ground.
And they're content to run out the clock at the end of our first half of play. It is Traverse City West 28, Bay City Central nothing. We're going to be back in a minute. We are going to recap the first half, put the stage set for the second half right here on BCTV.
Village Towing and Auto Repair of Kaukaulin and Bay City is here to help you in your hour of need with fast and friendly service. With over 30 years of towing experience, we know how to get the job done quickly and safely. From big to small, we do it all. Give us a call at 989-684-9607 for all your towing needs.
Back here ready to rock and roll in the second half. Jeff Doe and Jason Newsham, glad to have you along. as they better kick off from the 40 instead of the 35 here. So they're going to shift on the fly and bring it up. Let's see what Bay City Central is going to have the opportunity to do here to start the third quarter, Jason.
Well, we talk about it week in and week out. The halftime adjustments is always one of my favorite parts as a coach, is try to figure out what my staff and I are seeing. And, well, they're going to get great field position, or they're going to get an opportunity to take 5 yards on the kick.
I'm pretty certain they're going to take the ball, bring that thing out to the 35.
They're going to need something right now, So talking about the adjustments at halftime, again, I think if you're Coach Frederick, and his staff, you're not upset with the play calls. The play calling has been solid. We're shoring up a couple things. The turnover that would happen at the 10-yard line. Things that happen in a football game. Again, we're putting a lot of stock, a lot of faith into 16, 17-year-old men out there. So mistakes will happen, but let's see if we can't keep the good play calling coming up and then getting some. We got something going on out there. Didn't look right from the beginning.
Well, and it almost looked like a mishandled handoff. We're going to have offside, so the Wolves are going to get a free 5 to start up the second half. That's a thing of beauty.
Well, it's a good start, but going back from the play calling aspect of it, get a little confidence, get a little bit of maybe get that, the rain's still coming down, so you're still going to have to play with a wet ball. But, make something happen, give those guys some confidence on that offensive line, maybe get Harris on the outside so he can use the speed. But, again, it's the turf that's going to be the question.
So Bay City Central, little counter action. And Van Dusen not able to keep his hands on the ball. That young man had nothing but a ton of green grass in front of him, and he could not hang on to that football. That could have been 6.
We said, again, how close they are to making a play and changing the entire scope of this game, the entire scope of the crowd. It's a shame that he put the ball on the turf. Give credit to Traverse City West. They jumped on it, and now they take over the 46-yard line here on 1st and 10 with 11:51 left here in third quarter.
So sometimes the gloves that you end up wearing are a detriment, and he took them and threw them right off. There's a pass down the middle, and again, an ill-advised throw as Hendricks had an absolute wide-open receiver, and he didn't put air under it. And he overthrew his intended target.
Well, you sit there, you're gripping that wet ball. You're trying to make sure that you don't lose it on the back motion. So sometimes you just hang on to it a little too long. Sometimes you snap it a little too quickly. And that one right there flew over Tupper's head. But to Tupper's credit, the defensive secondary for the Wolves got to maintain their defensive integrity back there and their responsibility and not let anybody get behind them. Now Sauer's going to get the carry up the middle. Making some people move, trying to get 6 or 7. They're going to give them 8.
8, yep. And somebody from Bay City Central just reached out in time to get a little bit of a foot, and I think that might have been Joe Anderson, or otherwise that one might have been coast to coast.
Well, Lumabody, ever since his unsportsmanlike, has been out there a lot of times for blocking purposes. He's only, I think, had 2 carries since his unsportsmanlike, and Sowers has been getting a lot of the load here with Lumabody on the sideline.
Well, and it's a beautiful thing when you've got a couple of horses that can make that happen. Trying to get to the outside, using a little stiff arm, going to be able to pick up enough for the first down on that 3rd down and short 2 situation. Hog tied to the ground finally by the Wolfpack defense. Brown with the tackle on the corners, so good play defensively and only warranted a 2-yard gain, but it's enough to move the sticks.
Well, when it's 3rd down and 1.5 and you get 2, you're going to get a first down 10 out of 10 times.
The abacus says that's the good math. 1st and 10, Hendricks back, 5 yards in the shotgun. He's back to pass again, and a little pitch to the outside, and a pass completed down to about the 20-yard line is number 9 on the play, Schutte.
Nice.
Finally brought down by Bay City Central's number 14, Landon Beckers. Not before the Traverse City West moves the sticks. Another 1st and 10, Traverse City.
A nice play call right there. Just got him out in the flat, made the nice pitch and catch, and then let Schutte do the rest of it. Sam Schutte, the senior tight end, outside linebacker as well. Free safety. You don't see that position very often on a roster sheet. Free safety.
Hendricks again back. He had some pressure. He's able to shake that off, and now he throws that ball down. It's going to be intercepted by Bay City Central, and we're going to have a penalty flag down, and almost 100 times out of 100 when it comes out late from the umpire, it's going to be ineligible downfield. I don't think we're going to have a holding.
Big time play right there for the Central Wolves defense. Interception and a nice little return, too, where he caught it from, brought it out about 12 yards. Interesting to see what the call on the field is going to be. And, of course, if it was after the interception, before the interception, all those things go into play here.
I think they're going to have an eligible downfield. I think I glanced when I saw the flag go and looked like there may have been a lineman past that mark. Let's see what our referee says. He's mic'd up, so we'll be able to tell.
You also should know that they're not blue; they're purple. Why do you guys say? Why do you say they're blue?
Because you always purple is a 2, blue is a single. So
a syllable you're talking.
Yes, yeah. Syllabalization.
We're in a uncivilization. So the penalty there, unnecessary. But again, to get a little frustration mounting up, you put your guys back in a hole. And now let's see what the Wolves offense can do. Is again try to get some points on the board, get some confidence, hold on to the ball, see what they got in store.
Well, again, can't fault the play calling tonight. As DeRocher across the middle. What a great defensive play that time by number 24 as Esper did a great job of getting a hand in there to knocking it out. It was a good pass, and DeRocher was there ready to make it. Just again, as we've said before, the defense coming up with a play.
Yeah, they're coming up just a little bit better. The rain starting to come down a little heavier, too, as we look out there.
It's straight down now. It was blowing earlier, so the flag still looks like an east-northeast wind, but the rain looks like it's coming straight down. I'm worried about you out there, Brother Nick. I hope you're staying dry. Glad that I remembered to bring that extra pair of gloves today, so that might help you out a little bit. He's braving the weather under the overhang as trying to go right up the middle. Looks like Sawinski on the run, and he picks up a few yards, and it's going to bring up third down and about 8 yards to go for Bay City Central deep in their own end.
Yeah, they got Sawinski up the middle. Harris trying to get him around the end, and then every now and then Gibson Jr. will try and find DeRocher out in the flat out of the tight end spot. They've had him on a couple of opportunities on some screens, on some back screens. So, again, try to find something here that you can execute, make it look good, and get a first down. You're going to need 7 right now, 7.5, maybe 8 yards to the first down marker.
Coming up. Good line split, looks like, for Central. And pass on the outside is complete, but it looks like it's going to be short of that first down marker at the 21. They needed to get to the 22, so that's going to bring up fourth down and just over a yard. And
got that ball out. Reed with a nice catch over there. But more importantly for the Titans, it was a very solid one-on-one tackle out there.
Bay City Central down 4 touchdowns, realizes their possessions are going to be limited here the rest of the game. They're rolling the dice here, and I like the call.
I do too. I think, again, you're sending the right message to your guys that we're not backing down. We're not just going to turn around and flip the ball back to the Titans and give them the ball back on offense.
Fourth down and a long one. On the quarterback keeper, very nice call that time as the defense looked like they were looking for Sawinski up the middle, and great run for the first down as Gibson Jr. does a great job. But again, I love the play call offensively. First off, to go for it, Jason. Second off, to find success with it.
That reminded me of the old triple option Paul Johnson when he was at the Naval Academy, when he had a guy named Keenan Reynolds. He would just little belly right there, fake it, and then follow your guy that, and in this case, Sawinski's not a short guy or a small guy to follow. So Sawinski led it with the blockers, and he ended up taking it for the first down.
Again, that ball kind of slipped out, and we got a penalty flag down as
Number 8 back there, Noah Damon, number 11. Tell you what, we need bigger fonts.
Yep, it is small fontage as we're trying to figure it out. And it looks like whatever the penalty is against Central, they're going to decline it.
Yeah, good. It would be the right decision. You know, you got the loss of 3 or 4 on the play there as Gibson tried to make something happen. Again, wet ball. He started losing it before he could make the throw, and rather than have it go backwards like in the first half, he just tucked it and tried to make something happen. And while he was doing that, his offensive lineman goes, well, I better grab this guy before my quarterback gets creamed. So
3rd down and double sticks. Harris again. It shows great patience, but swarming to the football. There are 6 gold helmets at the point of attack now, and a gain on the play of only about 3 yards. So
that'll bring up 3rd down. We had a little mishap on the scoreboard, so that was 2nd down. This will be coming up. Will be 3rd down and about 8 yards to go as Harris comes up a little hobbly. And that's not a good sign right there. You want to make sure that you keep your back not hobbling when he's going back to the huddle.
Well, and he's just going to keep flexing that right now because that's exactly the thing you do to keep it from swelling up. Keep that shoe on tight, and hopefully you can play through it. 3rd down now and about 6. There's that little counter action play, and it's successful for a gain of about 2 or 3 yards.
Wyatt Stakowiak on that carry.
Yep. As Stakowiak picks up some yards and
Stosh.
4th and 4.
I haven't said Stosh. That's Ronnie's grandson right there.
Yes, it is. And it's great, too. We got a chance to see Ron at a lot of the basketball games last winter here at Bay City Central. And past superintendent of school, past principal. He was my principal back at McKinley School back in the early mid-'60s.
I wasn't even going to go there.
Yeah, I figured I would once I started. So 4th down. Trying to come to the outside. Sawinski wide open on another great play call, and he just lowers the boom. And it looks like number 27, Warner, might have a cramp as he went down, but he got blasted. And we're going to have to check this out, but we're going to take a quick break and be back in a moment on BCTV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
And welcome back here to the Bay City Central Traverse City West football contest here on BCTV. Jeff Doan alongside myself, Jason Newsham. We're bringing everything back to life here. And
we had like a 35-minute delay due to an injury, unknown injury, but the ambulance had to come out, and second ambulance comes, so we can only hope and wish for the best for young Chance Warner, as if there is a good thing from an injury, you're 2 blocks away from our medical center here in Bay City, so hope and trust that all goes well. 2nd down and 8 as Jamario Walker gains 2 on 1st down.
Jimmy Walker's brother?
He is dynamite. He's ready to explode for a big play here.
Well, we're going to go ball back up to Sawinski, trying to get up the middle. Gets just to the other side of the 45, down to about the 44.5-yard line as we'll bring up 4th down, and we'll call it along 7.
Nope, 3rd down.
3rd down and along 7. See, I'm getting a little ahead
Noah
of myself.
DeMond with the tackle. As again, it's just enough time to make you have to rev things up again. You had to bring the players out of both locker rooms and give them time to stretch and warm up and reacclimate to the weather conditions as the steady rain continues to fall here, as trying to get something going as Wilson Jr. is down, and it looked like they were diving after what they thought was a loose ball, but there's going to be a big loss on the play as Bay City Central is realizing again it's 4th and 12, but I'm not going to have enough possessions to get back in this game if I can't convert here. So I like the fact that, again,
Freddie's making good calls. The kids just got to finish and execute everything that we're drawing up.
Yeah, I think so too. Here, they've had 2 4th-down conversions on this drive before the longer break for the injury. But again, it's what are you doing here? You're trying to make something happen as that ball gets thrown over the middle, pops up in the air. Couldn't have called incomplete.
Yeah, that's the right call.
Right call, but the would have been enough. Could have been enough right there. But again, nice play call, good throw in this weather. But going back to it, they converted 2 4th downs, and then you have the injury. Now you got a little bit of momentum going on your way. Sawinski makes the great play, the great catch, and then the great run after the catch on the 4th down. The injury takes place. That momentum you have, all of a sudden you start to lose a little bit of it, and that's they come out and they stall here on their first possession after the injury.
So taking over control of the football again, Hendricks. And we really haven't seen a ton of number 32, Himmelbode. As Himmelbody, I think is what they call.
We got whistles.
And we're going to have a false start on the offense. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. It'll be 1st and 15. Might have been a snap infraction from the center because it looked like he might have been the only one that moved on that play.
He's like, that's not my fault. It's the quarterback's fault.
Well, and if he's the only one that moves, then it can't be a snap infraction because it's legal for him.
Right.
Maybe he double pumped or something. I don't know.
Putting Kirchner in on the jet sweep, trying to get him to the outside. He's going to try to make a cut up. He does. He's going to get about 14, if not all 15, back on the first down run on the sweep for Kirchner.
He bounced to the first down, so they're going to mark him about 1.5 yards short of that first down marker, but he's just slippery out there. It looked like the defense had the angle again, and he just finds a way to slither through and pick up +10 after first contact.
And he's able right now, which is surprising in this turf, but he's getting that foot planted, and he's able to make those guys make the moves. And Sowers this time patiently waits for the hole to open up, and he finds some room.
What a very patient run indeed, as he waited and waited for his offensive line, read the block, and pulled forward for a nice gain. We're going to move the sticks. Another 1st and 10 for Traverse City West. So we're drawing late into the third quarter here with 3:15 and counting left in the third. So Traverse City West at this point showing great patience offensively, using the clock as their friend. 1st and 10 again. Trying to go, nope, on a quarterback keeper. Hendricks trying to turn around the corner. He makes the first person miss, and he steps out of bounds. So he's going to be able to pick up something again out of nothing. The Central defenders are there in position, Jason, just not able to finish right now.
Right, and better offense beats better defense, right? And that's what's happening here. So they floated the ball well. That went from a 3-4 yard loss to a 6-7 yard gain, and again, it's about your angles and your pursuit. But I thought they had them. Looked good from up here.
Must have been a slippery jersey situation.
This time the ball is going to go to Sowers, and Sowers is going to go
nowhere.
Backwards.
Yes.
He's not going to hit the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose 2 on the play. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 5, 6, long 6, long 5. Long 5 and a 6.
Yeah.
Your call. You make the call.
It's going to be a long 6 as J.J. Schultz and company in on that tackle for Bay City Central. But Traverse City West doing a great job. And, again, the back judge isn't even up with his 10 seconds yet. So plenty of time to run a play here for Traverse City.
Kirchner in motion. Fake it to him. Quarterback keeper trying to get out the outside, and don't hit him.
And a late hit. That is...
Landon Beckers just saw it, and I tried to yell down to him, "Don't hit him! Don't hit him!"
He just didn't hear you in time, Coach.
He was, kind of Owen Hendricks, the quarterback there, kind of just knocked out of bounds there, and Becker's from his angle. He's coming up and sees the quarterback kind of skirting on that sideline, but he was 2-3 feet on the other side of the white, which unfortunately, ill-advised penalty right there for the Wolves, and that's going to give it probably a 1st and goal for the Titans, or at least 1st and 10 from the 10. They're going to be able to allow a 1st down here. Got to get the markers moved.
So it will be 1st and 10. So 1st and goal from just inside the 10. They don't need to stretch those out because I don't think he's going to. Sowers gets to the outside and a great open
nice
field tackle that time. And it looks like number 18 defensively, Caden Langley, with the touchdown saving tackle. Langley used a great angle and was very secure and easy finish for him.
Well, the way that these markers are lined up, it looks like they could get a 1st down at the 1. According to my eyesight from the Eagles nest up here in the top of the press box at Elmer Engel Stadium, home of the Bay City Central.
Hendricks
Wolves.
back. Plenty of time in the corner of the end zone. And we got a penalty flag down. I can't see in the corner. I've got a iPad in my way.
I've got a touchdown, a penalty flag, and I'm not sure what the penalty is. Unless they're going to say it was a late hit, but it looked like he was just making a tackle or making an attempt on the play. I didn't see anything. So they're saying that by him being in the end zone with the catch, it was a touchdown, and you didn't need to hit him. But you know what? You have a chance to jar the ball loose. There's you still got to make a completion.
If he catches it and he's down, you got to leave him go. They're going to get the 15 on the kickoff. And the pending extra point is going to allow us to get into a running clock situation.
As Rice, the kicker, number 21, the left footer, has 2 for 2 so far. They've had a couple of 2-point attempts, but he's been solid so far. And number 3 looks no different.
Otto and Maddock. It's good. Time out on the field with 1:23 left in the third. 35-0 Traverse City West over Bay City Central. Back in a moment on BCTV.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Back here on Bay County TV as they're just going to kick this thing through the back of the end zone. And that ball will come out to the 20-yard line. And again, off the first snap, we will have a running clock situation as we're in a situation that is abbreviated by tips.
Tips or spit?
Tips it is. And we've got timeouts.
We've got injuries.
We've got penalties.
And we've got scores.
So those are the 4 situations at this point until it gets under 35 that will cause the clock to start. And we're not even going to go through what's going on with the super clock. We're not going to get there. So Bay City Central, Sawinski gets right back to the line of scrimmage. Yeah. And again, Bay City Central will try and dig out of this, but we should be in a running clock situation right down to the end of this third quarter. So Bay City Central might only be able to get one more play out of this.
I'm an optimist. I see Harris breaking one here for 80. That's my prediction.
I would love to see it, and he is certainly capable. They fake to him. Harris does a great job of picking up that backside blitz and just getting enough of them to keep him off of Gibson Jr. So nice job, recognition by Jamario to kind of keep his quarterback in one piece off that backside blitz.
Well, we're going to go under 30 seconds here in quarter number 3, 35-0 in favor of the Titans of Traverse City West. As we are now at the 20-second mark here in quarter number 3, and it brings up a third down and about 10.
So again, trying to run that counter play, and Traverse City goes, oh, I recognized that coming, and I stuffed it down, as it was an opportunity for Central, and that will be the end of our third quarter of play. It's 35-0. Back in a moment for the final 12 on Bay County TV.
Are you ready to gear up and stand out? Look no further than Sandlot, your local source for team uniforms, sports spirit wear, and more. Gear up with confidence. We've got your team covered from head to toe, ensuring you stand out on and off the field. And that's not all. Unleash your team spirit with custom spirit wear that roars success. Wait, it gets better. Introducing our free fundraising online stores. Effortlessly raise funds for your team while showing your pride. Customize your fundraising to reach your team goals. Get started online at sandlotsports301.com or at any one of our 3 convenient Great Lakes Bay locations. Sandlot, where quality, community, and apparel collide. Your team, our passion.
All right, back ready for the final 12 minutes of this ball game on Bay County TV. Central in punt formation on a 4th and 12. That kick is off, and it's a high end over end kick, and it is going to be something that Traverse City's just going to let roll, and it's going to go down, and they'll mark that down at the 44-yard line. At that point, it will be 1st and 10, Traverse City West, as these last 12 minutes are going to almost be continuous, as the running clock situation is in effect, so it doesn't matter whether you're out of bounds, incomplete pass. If it's not one of the 4 situations we talked about earlier, the clock will not stop.
Well, Traverse City West, they got a lot to get motivated for, and not a lot to get motivated. They've got a lot to get that momentum for next week's showdown with TCC, and something that right now I think they're going to try to use this 4th quarter to continue that momentum. I don't see a lot of letdown. I don't see, changing things up. I don't see a lot of knee taking or trying to change anything up. I think you stay with what you do best.
Well, they do have a couple of players that have got some fairly good, clean jerseys, as J.J. Schultz does a nice job of shutting down Charlie Sowers as he shot the gap. And
nice tackle, good wrap-up.
Very, very nice job of squirting the gap, getting rid of the offensive player, and engulfing
TFL right
tackle.
There, a little TFL, tackle for a loss. He's going to put him 3 yards behind, so it brings up 2nd down and 14.
As Traverse City had not taken a ton of time with the clock. Surprises me just a little bit as
number 10, Aiden Griffiths gets 4 yards and brings it back up to the original line of scrimmage, bringing us up to a 3rd down and 10 situation for the Titans.
I had to look again with the small font there. Was it a Griffiths? Is it a Griffins? And had to refocus the peeps.
Aiden, we'll just call him Aiden. Alex Scholl, number 15 down here on the near side.
And one thing I will say about Traverse City West right now, you're in a tip situation. Why are you running plays before the back judge tells you you're within 5 seconds? I mean, the things you try and learn and figure out from clock management of a game that would bode you well for the future, those are things I teach at this point in the ball game.
I think a couple of things. Number one is you want to continue your momentum and try and continue what you're doing and not change versus waiting for the clock to go down. The clock's running. Allows your guys maybe to get a couple new guys out there that haven't been out there to get real snap experience rather than just kind of getting down to the last 5, 4, 3 seconds left of the play clock. So there's a couple of different things. I think maybe you see that a little different, their next offensive possession, if it were to stay and remain in a running clock situation. But, who knows? I mean, every coach has their philosophy of why they do things. And that one's going to be offsides. That's unfortunate.
And that's very unfortunate because that high snap, the referee had to boot that thing after the fact. So we're going to have a dead ball false start against the offense, and that's a break for TC West because that ball was sailing over the punter's head.
Well, then he threw the ball, and that went about 10 yards the other direction. So, again, all this is happening while the clock is not stopped. Or the clock is running.
Yep.
Down to
it stopped for the penalty, and once it was enforced, much better snap.
And there is a good booming kick that Harris is going to take, and he's got a seam. And he's coming over the 45 to the 48-yard line, and he'll be out of bounds. There's no need for a flag there. Nope, that was just that tackle started in bounds. That was a good play. As Bay City Central will go back onto the offense now as we're down to 8:20 and counting left in our fourth quarter.
I see a yellow hanky out there, so we will get a...
I think we got a block in the back.
Which is where it's
about
at,
the 35. He might not have been able to get the flag to that. We'll wait and see if he saw the same thing that I did.
I hope it was a little bit closer to the plate because the reality of it is if you're that far away from where your return man is taking that ball, there's no need for it.
This was at the point of attack, though.
Okay.
Yep. And I believe, unless it's a safety issue at that point, if it's not at the point of attack, they are not going to issue that penalty. So it caused Harris to get an extra 15 on the return, so it goes back. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 8-minute mark for Central. Harris trying to come around the outside, and he runs out of real estate, and we're going to get a flag at the end of that play, and Central's going to get a free 15 yards of real estate, and that's very justifiable as the Central coaches are down there ensuring that that's not okay to ramrod my player into the fence on the side of the stands. So it took a second for the line judge to decide he needed to throw that. And I think he was very positively encouraged at that same time to make the right call.
It's amazing when you do things on the home team sideline how quick that volume goes up in your ear.
But for me, I like to proactivate that call before somebody else has to try and tell me what I think I saw. And Central is a very different and unique place to play because there is so little room out of bounds. You have got to really be conscious of what's going on.
Reminds me of an old basketball gym that we know really well called St. Joe's, where you were right on top of the
railing.
The railing that they used to play there at St. Joe's High School with Coach Cook back in the day.
Back in the day of JJKN.
Amen.
That was some fun times there. And, boy, now, you look at the middle of this field, Jason, and it is just absolutely tore up.
You can't even tell where the Wolf, the logo that was at midfield to start the game.
Our guy Mike White does all that hard work, and by now you can't even see what's going on. That ball lofted downfield, and almost a great catch that time by Cam Reed, but it's incomplete, and the clock continues to roll now with 6:45 and counting left in the game.
You know, it looked a little kind of a fluttery pass there. Again, wet conditions, threw the ball up. Reed tried to make a great job, almost having to stop to turn back and make the play. He had a little edge, too, if he could have get the ball just a little bit further up, maybe a little quicker. Reed has a penchant for making really nice catches. Even tonight he's had a couple really good ones.
On a dry ball night, he probably had a legit chance to make that, but the ball just too slippery right now and went right through the fingies. As Sawinski again on the outside. Little stiff arm making somebody miss and moving the pile forward down to the 42-yard line. He just absolutely loves to run in that open field. And the first defender, I believe, that had a chance to get him was going to be Core. And he got the old stiff arm right up on the upper body, and he got shucked aside.
Well, again, good play call, good execution, and that's what happens when you do those two things right there is you push the pile, you make the down markers move. It's 1st down and 10 for the Central Wolves. Be nice for these guys to get it again, and we talk about momentum and everything else as a snap, a little loose snap, and now he's running for his life as Gibson Jr.
Yep, they got to get a quick flag on that. Is when you're held straight up in the air and the defenders are all coming, you got to shut that play down quick because that's how somebody gets cleaned up on.
Yes, now just under 5:20 left here in the quarter number 4. Going back to what I was saying, getting a little bit of momentum again next week with their big rivalry game with the squad from Auburn, known as Bay City Western, coming to Elmer Engel to tangle for the Fireman's Trophy. Is that what we're playing for here next week? So still a lot of things you're still playing for, a lot of pride in those purple and gold uniforms.
Well, and you don't have to motivate kids this week. Not that you do ever, as the ball's down on the ground. And I think that Traverse City might have the ball. They're saying so, and so did the officials confirm that, as it looked like either the center was a little late getting that ball or Wilson got out from under center quick, because it doesn't look like he ever got a good grip on that ball. And again, it's wet, so it can be a tough exchange. It can be a tough
cold.
receive.
Your fingers are getting
chilly.
a little tingly right now. With the Titans will take over at the 46-yard line of Traverse City.
Their own 46, but again, another short field for them to be working on.
And we're going to have a timeout by the Central defense, as we've got a couple of players who still not on the field.
So Bay City Central taking a timeout. We'll take a quick break and be back in a moment on Bay County TV.
As the voice of Michigan's student athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports should be played.
We are responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
in which interscholastic athletes can thrive.
We believe that athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe that students in the stands should have fun,
but not take away the focus from the game.
We believe coaches should act like teachers,
helping student athletes develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and support their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports,
and respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports
while keeping a high level of respect between all those involved in the games.
Enjoy the game.
Back on Bay County TV, as we are down to the last 4 minutes of regulation. When the ball is snapped, will be 1st and 10 for TC West. As it looks like Traverse City has some cleaner jerseys out there, as they didn't travel with a huge squad, so it wasn't like they could add a whole lot of new people and fresh bodies to the field, but a smattering here or there of people, and great run on first down by the running back, number 12, Sowers. And he picks up about 8 yards on the play, as those big dogs up front for Traverse City West continue to give them running lanes all game long.
Looked like Cam Reed on the tackle. Numbers for the Central getting a little tough for the guys who've been tackled a few times into that mud.
Boy, it is absolutely ugly conditions on the field right now. Sowers trying to go forward. He's going to have the first down and a little bit more as he gets down to the 40-yard line. As we're fast approaching 3 minutes left in this game, 3:10 and counting. And, man, that deep side judge, they keep running the ball in and out. And instead of letting the ball boy do it, he's expediting that activity. I say you get the ball boy, and I shout for the ball boy. And if you want a fresh ball, the ball boy better get that ball out.
The ball boy with the ball.
Yes. So 1st and 10 again for Traverse City West. Single back formation. Sowers trying to come to the near side of the field, and Schultz hits him and drops him at the line of scrimmage.
Got a little help there from Joe Anderson. Anderson, the senior defensive back, coming up and helping out with Schultz on the tackle.
As the clock now down to about 2:15, and I believe they are going to take time, and now they are looking to see what's going on with the back judge going up with the 10. So they are utilizing the time management skills and blowing a tire on 2nd down. Again, trying to turn that corner, and that's in the very, very threadbare portion of this field.
Well, after the ambulances came on when we had the injury, you could see how, now granted the field was kind of deteriorating with this constant rain and the consistent rain of the evening, but I think those ambulance, the tire tracks out there, you want to be careful out there too, as they may have dug down a little bit into the turf. So, right now you're just trying to make sure you maintain ball, and if you get a couple of yards, you're closing in on 1 minute left here in the fourth quarter.
So just a quick run to the outside, and again, making a couple of people miss are Sowers. Sowers again breaks another tackle and gets down to the 10. And now's the time as an offense, you go victory.
Yeah,
you don't need another score. You don't need to do anything more than, at this point, they just need to take one knee. And the ball game is in the books. So
best play you call right there is the victory formation.
That's the greatest formation in football. If you're on the upside of victory formation, and they really don't need to run a play here. They need to just snap the ball and go down, and going up under center is Hendricks, so I believe that's exactly what they will do. And once it's under 40, they can snap it at any time. He goes down, takes a knee, and that last 20 seconds will wind us down to the end of a game that took about 35 minutes to restart after an injury on the field, and really stretched out the length of this football game as they line up now at the 50-yard line. 3 seconds, 2 and 1. That's all there is.
There is no more.
And our final score, Traverse City West 35, Central nothing. Back to put the wraps on this one in just a moment on BCTV.
Are you ready to gear up and stand out? Look no further than Sandlot, your local destination for custom screen printing, embroidery, and promotional goods in the Great Lakes Bay region. With not one, not two, but 3 convenient locations right here in the heart of the Great Lakes Bay region, we're your MVP when it comes to branded gear that hits the mark. For over 15 years, we've believed in community, in delivering top-tier quality, and in making your brand shine brighter than ever. And guess what? We're not just about sports. From schools to clubs, from businesses to community events, we're your one-stop shop for custom apparel that makes a statement. So if you're ready to elevate your brand, to make an impact, and to fuel your passion, choose Sandlot. Visit us today at one of our 3 unbeatable locations in the Great Lakes Bay region, or check us out online at sandlotsports301.com. Sandlot, where quality, community, and apparel collide. Your brand, our passion.
Good evening and welcome back to our post-game wrap-up here on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. Bay City Central had a great plan of execution in this game, and the selection of plays were good. Unfortunately, they just couldn't come through with the execution.
No, I think there was a couple of plays where, again, you go back as a coach, and I know Coach Frederick and his staff will do the same thing. They'll go back and they'll be like, if we would have been able to keep our footing, or we would have been able to make this completion or make this catch or get this tackle, you're always going to play that in the back of your mind, because at the end of the day, we don't like losing as coaches. So, trying to figure it out. But you gave your team and put your team in a tremendous situation with the play calls. Now, that's something to build on. It's not easy to convince the guys in the locker room, hey, that we did a lot of good things in a game when you lose 35-0 in this situation. But they did do a lot of good things, and I thought they had a lot of momentum coming into that third quarter before the injury. They had a couple of fourth down conversions, had a real good sense of momentum. Play call was good. Then all of a sudden you go back in the locker room for another. So you just came out of the locker room after halftime. You play 5.5 minutes. Now you're back in the locker room for about 30 minutes. So, those things are part of the game. And, unfortunately for Central, the momentum that they had going for them kind of withered away.
Well, we know going into this week it will be easy to be spirited at practice. It'll be easy to be focused. And again, the outside viewer will look at this and go, this wasn't much of a game at 35-0. You and I saw a lot different game than that. The plan is there. The kids just have to finish and execute that plan. And if and when that happens, this is a team that can be very dangerous.
I think next week's game, when they host Bay City Western, if they can put a couple of these plays, if the weather, let's just say it's a little drier, and a couple of these plays get to work, but let's just go back into the second quarter. They're down 15-0. They're at the 10-yard line. Things are going well. Then all of a sudden they have a ball that slips out of the quarterback's hands on a pass attempt. West recovers it, takes it up to about midfield, and they go down and score. Now the score is 21-0. So, as a coach, again, you're going back, going, well, if we would have done this or we could have done that. The whole game changes when it's 15-7, 15-8. And giving yourself, even if you put 3 points on the board, 15-3, and now again you're getting the ball coming out of halftime. So, they're going to look back at a lot of opportunities missed. But again, as a coaching staff, if you want to be the glasses half full, you're going to say we had a couple of opportunities that we can take advantage of still.
Well, it was a great night to have a homecoming celebration. The weather did not cooperate, and that really kept the crowd down, and the crowd was not able to help encourage the Central Wolves. But you got to tip your caps to Traverse City West. They made the 2.5-hour bus trip down, and they're able to go home with a victory.
Well, their 2.5-hour bus trip back home will be, a little somber with the injured player and the teammate, and as a coach, you got to rally the guys around. I thought they did a nice job coming back out after the injury and getting their guys refocused, because it's not easy. Especially it's an undisclosed injury. We're not doctors. We're not experts. Well, we're experts, but we're just not experts on everything.
It just depends who you ask.
So the reality of it is they're going to have a conversation with their players. I'm sure they're doing it now before they get back on the bus, and our prayers are with that young man, and hopefully everything turns out okay. But they had a great job, and their ride home will be maybe a little somber, but still celebratory, because they are getting that momentum for their big rivalry up at Traverse City next week, and when they host. Well, they both host because they both use the stadium, so it'll be TCW shootout there in Traverse City at Thurlby Stadium.
Well, Central Western next week. That about puts the wraps on this one. On behalf of our whole crew, I'm Jeff Doan along with Jason Newsom. Another great job by Nick Page. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you next week.